Welcome back to another Tuesday Newsday, everyone. We are at episode 80. Oh, I am not muted somewhere. Let me find that because that's going to echo through to all of you. There we go. Oops. I have Randall with me today. How are you, Randall?
I'm doing fine. We're matching on the color there.
I love it. I was
So
just
that's
telling
fun.
Randall that I think pink is the best color on his beard that I've seen.
It turns out really well.
Wow.
Shockingly good, to say.
It will always be a positive memory. The time I got to dye your beard for you at, I think, Gen Con.
It was at Gen Con, two Gen Cons ago now, I think. Yeah, the first time I'd actually colored it, and now I color it all the time. Now it's fun.
That's awesome. Time is weird.
Yep. It's weird.
Well, guys, I have some news for you today. I have Randall on because I know that you guys have had some question about releases and stuff that I haven't quite known the answers to, and I figured we'd get a status update on MHA and Runefire and stuff like that. But first, I have an announcement. I am leaving Catalyst in 2 weeks. It's a really sad time, but it's a good thing. I'm leaving to work on my own company. There's going to be a post actually that goes up on the blog here in a moment.
Yep.
And I think just so I don't miss anything, I hate when people get on and like just read, but I think I'm going to read this to you guys. Just so you have it from my voice. So, dear Catalyst community, I wanted to take a moment to announce that I'll be leaving Catalyst Game Labs to finally work full-time for my own company, Alternis Productions, Inc. My company and I will continue to contract with Catalyst as needed for marketing and crowdfunding work, so I'll still be around, and my departure is on great terms. The goal between Lauren and I from the time I was hired was that I would help Catalyst Game Labs grow their connection to their community, but that I would eventually go back to focusing on my own company. For the past 3 years, I've made so many friends and have had so many fun and amazing experiences. I'm incredibly grateful for the opportunities this role and Catalyst have offered me. I'm also incredibly proud of the growth of the marketing team. CJ and customer support got our customer service tickets from over 1,900 to under 50 that roll over per week. Michael has created a social media posts across all platforms and pages, grown our followers and mailing list, and created our newsletters. The Discord server has grown to over 6,000 users and has become a positive and safe space to participate with our games and contributors. We went from under 20 videos and under 2,000 subscribers on YouTube to over 100 videos and over 7,000 subscribers. We ran ads online and in GTM magazine, even featuring Leviathans on their very last issue. And there's still so much that we can do to grow. The community is incredibly passionate about our games and these worlds, and I've been inspired by the stories that have brought people together. As I said back when I started, Catalyst games are for everyone. I've seen so much love, kindness, generosity, and connection in this community, so if playing our games brings you joy, please keep playing. As for me, you'll still see me. I'm still incredibly close to my Catalyst family. I'm contracted to continue Tuesday Newsday for at least the next month. I'll be around at the shows and always make time to play a game or two. I'll be visiting my friends in the booth and may even still help with streaming at the shows. I work with some of our great industry brands. Oof, I can't talk. I work with some of our great industry brands, Chessex, the dice manufacturer, Rollicrit, the Gen Con merch store, and creators of Heroes of Barcadia, XP Network, an organized play platform that benefits players, GMs, retailers, and publishers, and more. I will be getting back into content too, now that I have time. I'm reviving my interview show for industry creators. I'm producing a Legend of the Five Rings and a Mutants and Masterminds actual play. Shadowrun has been close to my heart since before joining Catalyst, and I'll still be producing content for the community moving forward, including a series of shorts to go over rules. They're going to be like little 1-minute clips all cyberpunked out. I'm on Meta, Instagram, Discord, and Blue Sky if you'd like to follow me. I'm even GMing through my Patreon. My Shadowrun game filled up, so I'll either be offering another soon or possibly a D&D 5e game. Finally, I'd just like to say thank you to everyone for their enthusiasm and support during my time. It's been an honor to serve this community, and I'm excited to see what new heights these IPs can grow to next. Thank you and all my best. So I'm not going to cry. I did that before the show.
Yeah, well said. Well, and as I said earlier just before we went live, this is such a small industry. We're going to keep bumping into each other and working together on various awesome things for years and years. So
you can't get rid of me. Like it's
I
not
know,
it's
right.
not happening.
You got to color coordinate.
Yeah, right? So
yeah.
we'll keep it Gen Con pink.
Yeah, that's I can't see.
I'll send you the schedule of colors you're allowed to have.
Yeah. No, can't wait to see where you go and all the awesome stuff you do, and then keep doing great stuff with us. Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm all ready. My newest contract that is getting signed today from Lauren is they own Pulse Publishing, and we'll be launching a Castle Wolfmoon Kickstarter within the next month. And this is the last known unpublished works of Gary Gygax and Chris Clark. So there's going to be a ton of industry contributors. And I'm really excited for it. I think it'll be a fun campaign to market, and
awesome.
We'll see what happens.
No, I was actually I'll be looking forward to your Legend of the Five Rings stuff back in the late 90s when that first came out. I and several of the FASA employees at the time did like a year-long Legend of the Five Rings RPG, as well as played way too much of the card game. So great stuff. Always loved that. I've gotten every one of the editions of the RPG they've published over the years. Great stuff.
Awesome. Yeah, it was when I was doing content before Catalyst. It was we did like 6 or 8 episodes or something, and it wasn't finished, I think. And it was our best viewed show, and people were like, "We want more L5R." So what's funny is you join the industry because you love gaming, and then make yourself too busy that you can't game anymore. Yeah. So I decided that I was going to get people in the industry together for 3 days, for full days of gaming on like a Sunday once a month, and we're gonna record for like 8-hour days and then divide them up into 1-hour episodes. So we're getting ready to start recording L5R, and then Mutants and Masterminds 4th edition. I love Green Ronin and I wanted to support them. And then I did also at Gamma, which I want to talk about too, just talked with Monty Cook, and I might be doing either Cypher or Old Gods of Appalachia. So
I love Old Gods of Appalachia.
Yeah, I haven't played it yet.
Kickstarter, they did a phenomenal job. Love those. Listening to their podcast, great stuff. Very fun stuff.
Awesome. Well, Gamma was last week, which is why we weren't here on stream. But we had some really great meetings. It was bigger and better this year than ever before. If you're a retailer or a creator and you aren't going to Gamma, like if there's one show that is the most important for networking, to me, it's Gamma. The seminars they have, the ways you can learn. I taught a seminar on, or led a panel on metrics for social media that matter. Yeah, I say Appalachia. I'm from Ohio and was in Southeast Ohio for college, so that I'm determined it's still Appalachia. I like Appalachia. So the panel went well. The industry is pretty healthy. It's cool to see all the new and exciting stuff that's happening, and talk to the industry professionals about what they're doing. And then we had a booth, and during game night, we did 3 days of our upcoming game in partnership with Quincy from Quincy's Tavern, and it's called Barkeep's Bones, and it's a leveled up version of Liar's Dice, and the retailers went nuts for it. Like people, we know people love their Battletech, right? So we had a table of Battletech, and we had a table of Barkeep's Bones. We had to tell the Barkeep's Bones people to move so that the people could get to the Battletech table. So this is gonna be a real popular game, I think. It makes a ton of noise as you slam the cups on the table, and then you get like extra magic spells, and there's like I said, there's little leveled up ways for Liar's Dice to improve, and I was excited by, even though Parachute Panda sold out within the first 6 months and we had to reprint it, I haven't seen this much excitement over one of our board games since I've been here, so I'm very excited for this.
You know, there's a great visceral feel when you play that game. Everyone ends up getting louder and louder and slamming your cups on the table. It's ridiculously fun.
Yeah, and the strategy behind it, or when you get stuck with a bad bid and,
Yeah.
someone, I like to call bullshit on people. So
No, it's great fun. I think it's
yeah.
good.
So Gamma was a lot of fun. What was that?
I was just saying Quincy is just fantastic. He's such a
Yes.
genuine, nice person. And so having this all come together is just going to be really cool to see.
And I believe I don't know that we've talked about it on here before, but Barkeep's Bones and a book, what's it called?
Book of the Lost Tales, Book of the Lost Bard. That's what
Book
it is.
of the Lost Bard, yeah. Is I can't remember, is it fiction? Is it cookbook? Both?
I think it's a little of both because
Okay.
he puts recipes in his stuff.
Yeah, they're it's coming to Kickstarter with both of those for Quincy. So keep watching for that.
It is, but just a fun notice on that one that like Barkeep's Bones is at the printer. It will actually be done before we even launch the Kickstarter. And so it's an experiment on doing things a little differently.
We're learning.
So it should be on a ship heading our way, if not maybe already in the warehouse by the time the Kickstarter launches. So we're looking forward to being able to run a quick one, close it up, and be shipping, very close to when it wraps up. So that's going to be exciting to see how that plays out.
Cool. All right, let's jump over to the release schedule, and Randall, please, I invite you to kibitz through this as I bumble my way through.
Good.
So let's start as usual with Battletech, and I have to scroll because we're oldest to newest here.
So just make sure two of those items you carefully don't mention yet because we're not talking about them yet.
Type to me on Discord of which two those are. Oh, I might know, but I don't know. Okay. While he's typing to me.
I threw that in there. I was already going to tell everyone that at Adepticon, during the live stream of Adepticon, we'll have a big announcement going out, both during the live stream as well as, electronically paper in the universe, about two new items that we have that will be out for Gen Con. We're not saying what they are yet. They're super exciting. So I just wanted to make sure that didn't slip out.
I don't think I've talked about them previously. I think I was smart enough, but in case I did, Randall, you deserve it.
Okay.
But I don't think I did. All right. So we've got just last week, Force Manual Mercenaries finally released.
Finally. Yep.
Yeah, we've been waiting on that for a while. Anything you want to say about that book?
Well, it's just another great, those type of books have always done incredibly well. It kind of harkens back to the Force Manual line that was FASA published in the late 90s. That was arguably like the second best series of source books that FASA ever published. And so our Force Manuals are getting out there. That really has been done for a while. It got stopped up in shipping snafus that are just, kind of happening all over the world. But the next one, which I believe is Invading Clans, is already in layout. And the next one after that, which I think is Steiner, is being, might already be done written, or at least is maybe going through development. So that is a fantastic way to dive into the faction that you want to play. Whether you're doing Alpha Strike or regular play, it just makes it really easy to build a faction-specific force and be off and running. So excited to continue that line.
Awesome. Props to 117 Aster, who didn't miss a beat, and the question in chat is, question for Randall: what are the two items to be debuted for release at Adepticon?
Nice. Well, you'll have to wait for Adepticon.
You win.
I know, right? No, I'm incredibly excited about this. There's been a whole just amazing amounts of work in all of this. I can't wait to finally take the cover off and show everyone what we have coming. It's going to
Cool.
be awesome. Going to be
Um,
fantastic.
then April 1st, we have going into Barnes & Noble, the Elysian Lancers Command Lance Force Pack.
Yep.
So in October, that should be available for wider retail release. Now, there is a ton here, Randall, that says it's April, and Paul has said that these are likely to be spread out, so feel free to kibitz about these.
Yeah.
The first ones are the salvage boxes for Legendary Warriors. I currently have that for those for 418, and the rest of this says 429. So help me out here. There's
I think those will be April. Some of this, unfortunately, is all behind. You know, they're as always. It's just a lot of shipping, and shipping just takes longer and longer and longer of late with things going on in the world. I believe that's when they should be available, is in April.
Okay. All right, and then we've got for late April. I feel like I have to take a big deep breath for this. Timberwolf Seascale. The Clan Battlestar Force Pack. The BFM Volcanic Glacier. What?
Sorry, keep going, and I'll walk back through it.
Okay. The Map Pack Volcanic. Map Pack Glacier. Hotspots Draconis Reach. Battle Match Fire and Ice 1 through 8.
Okay, so a couple comments. The battle mats and specifically the neoprenes, those actually will. There's 8 battle mats and then a BFM as well as 2 map packs. All of those tied together, and they'll be spread out across probably 6 months of releasing them, because no store nor almost most players are going to be able to take that volume in a go. It's like, you know, Timmy, you get a drink from the fire hose, right? Like no one wants to do that. So they will be, but they're all in. We'll be able to lock in a great schedule until all the stores and the players will know that it's all rolling out together. But it'll be across at least a 6-month time period, if not a little more. The Battlestar is actually the first time we've done this, which is they are the mechs that were originally the 5 mechs that were originally found in the Clan Invasion box set. We have remastered them, meaning that, you know, every time we do this every year, most of the fans have already told us, because they have noticed that the quality just creeps up a little bit and a little bit and a little bit every year as the models go along. And so the models that we are making now, you can hold them in your hand and see that they are appreciably better by, 5 to 10% margin, which, you know, for fans that love models, that's a pretty awesome margin. So we have actually taken the models out of the Clan Invasion box. We've put them through a new remastered, with Anthony's team going over them with their current, almost decade-long hard-won expertise, and then all new molds to then put that out in this Clan Battle Pack, Clan Battlestar Force Pack. And we're calling these basically remastered models. And we won't do that for all models by any stretch, but the Clan Invasion box contains some of the most beloved and iconic designs. And so we felt that the fans would really appreciate us going to that next level to get that out there. So we're excited to have that come out. And then, yeah, the C-Scale should be out there. The Draconis Reach, that's probably going to be a May release, just as an FYI, since Force Menu Mercenaries is just coming out now in March. I imagine we'll gonna push that book back just slightly, but I have a final copy of it on my desk, so it's all printed, it's on a ship, so probably just push that back a little bit. I think that covers everything that was on that list.
And I just sent you in Discord the list for the rest of the year. Some of this stuff I haven't talked about before, so if I
Yeah,
leave it up to you for what to
I
share.
don't think there's anything on here that I want to talk about yet.
Okay.
Actually, no, there's two things I can talk about.
Okay.
In a similar fashion, the union. So for those that managed to grab the commemorative edition of the 3025 that we did last year, Technical Readout 3025, we went through and reimagined all of the aerospace assets. And so the union dropship is getting a remastered force pack. So we did the original union as part of the Mercenaries Kickstarter, and we've now done a remastered version that will be releasing this summer. And again, if you compare the two, it's like just shocking how much cooler and better it is. It even has a base and a stand now, so you can actually put it out in a flying pattern if you wish. And then the fans have been asking about this ever since we did the first pass, and we are also releasing a Leopard class dropship in that new remastered with a post and a base. Most of the rest of that we can't really talk about yet, so we'll be able to talk about some of it at Adepticon, and then we'll keep going. But
Cool. Lots of surprises for this year. And I'll just give you a heads up, Randall, that the people are hungry. So if you wait too close to the release, they're gonna get cranky. Come on Tuesday Newsday.
Yeah. No. I totally get it. But again, I think we are still riding high in this, amazing Battletech renaissance we have, and I think what we have coming for Gen Con is just gonna be a catalyst, to explode it up even higher and bigger, and get more people aware of it and coming in and playing. So we're excited.
Awesome. Mean Streets for Shadowrun just released last week as well. The next one to come out is Asphalt Jungles, so watch out for that. We do have also, we're working on a quick start guide for Wizard Riders. And we heard, I believe it was in our director's meeting, that the Voltron board game is pretty much ready to go. The Explorer's Guide, I think, is in review, or was that in approvals now? I can't remember.
That's for Frostpunk.
Yeah, for Frostpunk.
Explorer's Guide for Frostpunk, the text has all been approved and waiting on approval on the art. And once that's done, it can then all flow into layout.
Beautiful. Awesome. So lots of good stuff coming there. What else do we have? Board games. As I mentioned, we have the Barkeep's Bones coming. If you haven't checked out Quincy's previous game, it's Guardians of the Four Winds. So you should look at that if you haven't already. That one is released.
Yep.
And then I believe, Gummy Bear, tell me if I'm wrong, but I believe that Kung Fu Panda Street Food Showdown was supposed to release last week. Did that happen? I wonder if it got released or punted at the last minute. I'm not sure, but I did get to see it at Gamma, so it is ready.
Yep, unload game.
Awesome. And then jumping over, since I'm on board games, Takedown, we have submitted the fulfillment. Words are hard. The fulfillment spreadsheet to platforms for fulfillment for domestic and rest of world, and any short items or anything like that is getting ready to be sent to the hubs, so we can hopefully fulfill those soon after. So Takedown is moving forward. Leviathans, I do need to do a follow-up since I've been gone at Gamma last week and everything on where, like, Leviathans is done domestically, but I think there's some stuff that is either like about to arrive or hit the hubs, or I need to check in on that. So I should have more for you on that next week. And also Tyler and I are going to be deep diving into those spreadsheets later this week anyway, to make sure that everything is covered. Mercenaries. So the final shipments from wave 4 and 5, the last I heard, this was before Gamma, so grain of salt here, was the remaining orders that they had left was just a few, is what I heard, but they had like several hundred items, and so they slowed way down on fulfillment of those, but we're waiting to hear back that that's done. Anyone else that either locks their order or pays shipping from here on out will be handled by our customer support team and fulfilled through platforms individually. So there won't be any more waves for mercenaries. So the new focus is going to be finalizing and finishing fulfillment for the hubs. And then, as I mentioned previously, there are some reprint shenanigans in terms of what needs to be reprinted or not, and what how we want to address that with our backers, whether it'll be refund, store credit, or do you want to wait for some of these items. So we're kind of handling that one at a time so that we can get the full list from each of the hubs and do all this together, so it's not 5 different orders of 5 different places of the world and hubs that we need to amalgamate. So I can think of the word amalgamate, but I can't think of like spreadsheet. I'm done. Randall, I've given updates the past as best I can for MHA and Runefire in the past, but I thought maybe you could give us a little bit of a better glimpse into where these projects are and what we can expect from them.
So MHA is one of those great, I can just randomly hold up some amazing minis, while I'm talking. So MHA is one of those great, you didn't know what you didn't know until you know it. And we had never worked with a company where the marketing approval process would be just as comprehensive and excruciatingly detailed as the game itself. Like the vast majority of all the licensees that we've ever worked with, it's the game, it's the visuals, and then when it comes to the marketing, it's almost after the fact, right? Like, oh, well, all this is approved, so do whatever you want with that, right? And so that's what was in our heads. That's what we're used to. That's what we've done for decades. And this time around, because again, we've never worked at this level or with a multi-billion-dollar media empire, which is and every little jot and tittle of every image for marketing required that same level of excruciatingly long detail. So even though we launched at Gen Con and we were really hoping, or we announced at Gen Con and we're really hoping that we could launch the crowdfunding at the end of the year, that's all got all bogged down. Now we have submitted a whole new batch of materials based on all of the various back and forths that we've had. I am gonna be optimistic and say I think by next week we might get that first batch approved, and in that approval we now do know what we need to do, and so that will be able to start a heavy rotation out, working with the various marketing companies, with REM and others that we're working with, and then we'll immediately submit the next batch, right? Because you can't run a big crowdfunding campaign without being able to market heavily, and you can't market heavily unless you actually have assets to market with, and we had 5 or 6 that we could use, and that's not enough for this scale. So we're still working diligently on it. The models still are absolutely stunning looking. I think we've made an incredibly fun game. So hopefully within 2 weeks or so, towards the end of March, anyone who's watching this should hopefully then suddenly see a giant surge and uptick of marketing for MHA, and that will be the indicator that we finally gotten enough approved that we can all move and I'll be going. So that's kind of where MHA is at. Runefire kind of fell in a somewhat similar, but really it was more about just things going on in the world, shipping. Paizo had their own Kickstarter for their own game that they were doing, that they're, I think, delivering right now, which is fantastic. I wasn't sure whether they could do that fast. So great for them. And so that was more a case of both of our schedules had to work phenomenally well. And then the world decided that, shipping and production would be delayed everywhere. And so that kind of messed everything up. So that we're not exactly sure where the crowdfunding on that is going to be placed just yet. Hopefully, within the next month or two, hopefully within the next week or two, we will have meetings with Paizo and we'll be able to lock that down. In the meantime, we have continued to work on this like crazy the last month to get it all ready. Like 70% of it is in final form and is just getting one last review by Paizo. We'll do what little tweaks they asked for, and those will be signed off on. All the rest of the material is in layout, and should be sent to Paizo within like 2 weeks. So, near the end of March, absolutely everything will be ready to go to print for the core box. We even have a magic deck similar to what we did with the previous iteration in Dragonfire. So just an extra magic deck you can buy. And then we also have the Heroes of Varissia character pack that will have new market cards, new features, and a whole bunch of new of the character screens. But we'll also then introduce the Ranger, Bard, and Witch. So you have your 4 character classes in the Runefire, and then immediately in this pack that hopefully again should be releasing simultaneously, or at least within a month of it. You get a whole new 3 new character classes and a whole bunch of great combinations of ancestries and the different character classes. So you have like 60 plus or like 50 options for things you want to play. So
cool.
Yeah, and real world does get in the way sometimes, and you just roll with the punches, but we're just still incredibly excited with what we've built, and we can't wait to get it out there and get it on player store shelves. And I love that people are still asking for it and anxiously waiting for it. That's amazing. And thanks to everyone who is doing that and has been patiently waiting, or even sometimes not patiently waiting, because I certainly have not been as patient as I would like. When the real world jumps in the way of my fun.
Well, thank you for that. I am going to jump back real quick to fiction because I forgot about it because I'm a bad person. So we're gonna. Did you just say eh?
No, I just said that's John. Whatever.
Whatever, John. So March 6th, we are due for Weapons Free Battletech or Battlecore Anthology number 3. Nice. March 13th, we're getting Shrapnel issue number 24.
Amazing, we're up that high.
Yeah, right?
Fantastic.
Then we've got March 20th. I'm not sure what this means exactly, so maybe you can help me with this. Carrying Capacity Transverse Noir number 1 lit RPG.
I have no idea what that is.
It's marked as a Shadowrun thing.
There's a vague thing in the back of my mind, but not sure. You'll have to ask John, and you can have it at that on the next. Okay. You can have him on to discuss that in the next Tuesday, Thursday.
Yay! Leviathans Anthology number 2 is slated for March 20th.
Good.
And finally, Silent Assets by Daniel Isberner, one of our German contributors. So
yeah, awesome.
Excited for that. And that's scheduled for March 16th is what it says here. So these aren't in date order, so I'm a little sus, but hopefully they're very, very close. So
just a little.
All right. I love it too, because I just looked over to chat and saw Wargriz say, "What is the status of Leviathan's fiction?" Haha.
Yeah.
Anthology number 2 is coming in 10 days.
Instant request. Boom. Love it.
The other thing I have for you, I waited for Dave, our moderator Dave, to get here. Hi, Dave. To do the links. So I'll give you guys all of your URLs you need for stuff. So first, discover what it means to be a sword for hire with Force Manual Mercenaries. Thank you. Jump into the Battletech universe with the Mech Warrior Destiny TTRPG. So if you haven't checked that out before, you should. Get all of the record sheets, errata, and Battletech specific blogs you need at battletech.com. Dave says he did not have that document open yet, so he's rushing around. He's in the doc right now as Anonymous Kraken, so that's quite the honor, I think.
Yeah, nice.
Giles Gamage follows the Wolf Dragoons in this month's free Battletech fiction, Heritage. For Shadowrun, learn about the deep history of the Desert Wars in this new Shadowrun e-release, Parabellum.
Ooh, that goes back a ways in history. Nice.
Right? Some runs need the critical eye of a researcher, like in Carrie Harris's free piece, The Big Spill. So that's our free fiction for this month. Boosting from a museum isn't easy. Find out in the latest Shadowrun mission, Advantages of Art History. Fun. And then follow former cop Brianna Wyatt into the Desert Wars with Jason Mallory's Trial Under Fire. Hi, Jason! I know he's in chat. So,
Thanks.
Promotion! And then Catalyst General, raid the lair and push your luck with Fanduble and the Dragon's Eye. I did find out Street Food Showdown, Kung Fu Panda Street Food Showdown, the card game, is now on the online store. So I don't have a link to that, I think. But if one of my fine moderators doesn't mind pulling it and dropping it, that'd be great. Humble Bundle has a massive deal. Grab up to 90 Shadowrun 4th edition books. That's been doing really well. I know people love their 4th edition. Don't forget to sign up for the My Hero Academia crowdfunding campaign, which, as Randall says, will launch someday.
Someday. It's coming. It's going to be awesome. It'll be worth the wait.
And then join the Catalyst Game Labs.
Lords. Yeah.
I can't words today, guys.
Game Lords.
Join the Catalyst Game Labs Discord to find games and gamers for Battletech, Shadowrun, and more. Whew. Okay, that's all of our links. Anything, Randall, that you want to talk about that we haven't covered before we jump over to Q&A?
No, I don't think so. I think that covers everything. I mean, to be honest, I do want to talk about the thing that we can't talk about, but we can't talk about that thing. So,
well, I'm sure it'll show up in the background of one of your Instagram photos one of these days.
Actually, the last few weeks, there's been multiple times, particularly like when painting, like because I've my family and friends have started to paint nearly every week. We don't always get it, but it's been like really cool because I haven't painted in forever. And then I'll take photos and share it up on my Instagram feed. And there's multiple times when I'll take the photo and I'll be looking, I'll be like, nope, gotta take this whole thing out of this corner over here. Okay, let's take a photo again.
Awesome.
Yep.
And they're good. Like I'll even sometimes see your posts and like everything's so blurry and zoomed out that I'm like, oh, it's probably fine. And then I see like a very pixelated something with a circle around it that I don't even know what it means, with people saying, when's this coming out? And I'm like, damn it, Randall.
Well, most of the time I'm fine. I don't mind some of that stuff coming out. It's it's the nature of the internet. It's the nature of I love inviting the community to kind of look over my shoulder, but every once in a while we do try to hold to the actual release details, date lines, so.
Awesome. All right, let's jump on over to Q&A.
Sure. Bring them on.
This first question is from the Battletech forum, which I think we might have to reroute to Josh Perrion. But let's see. It's when will the Battletech website be updated with record sheets for scouring sands, recent force packs like Cretan Command and Ranger Lances and emplacements, and shrapnel issues? 23 isn't up yet.
Those are starting to be worked on. Really, all of our time and effort has been pouring into these projects that I can't talk about for the last few months. And so that's swallowed everything on layout, editing, development, you name it, for Battletech. And so with that breaking open, like half of it is all off to print, and the rest is going here pretty quickly, and we'll be able to get back to getting those type of ancillary PDFs uploaded.
Okay. From Kalos, if I am leaving, will someone else be taking over Tuesday Newsday? Don't know yet. There's a reason. So next week is my last week, and then from there I've been contracted for a month to continue these. So like in that time, we're gonna see like a lot of the news I get is because of going to the directors meetings. So can they feed that info to me, or are people good at keeping up with that? Is someone internal going to take that over, or is it going to stop? Am I going to continue? We don't know. So it's all options that are being discussed right now. But when we know, we'll make sure to announce it to you guys too.
Yep.
Leo Schwa says, why hasn't the Comstar Battle Level 2 been restocked? Has it been retired?
Unfortunately, don't know off the top of my head. We are just now getting in a giant pile of restocks, and so need to go in and dig into that to see what's there. So hopefully within just another week or two, we'll know if that's the case or not.
Okay. Oops, that's a duplicate question. Billy asks, will we get a Battletech roadmap for the remainder of 2026 at Adepticon?
I wouldn't say a complete roadmap, but certainly a pretty dang good roadmap of what's coming. Yep.
Cool. Andrew Dickinson, I believe is over in the UK, and says, I'll be retiring on the 31st. What do you suggest a newly crowned man of leisure do?
I mean, play more Battletech. What is there to? I don't understand.
I predicted that coming. What about Shadowrun and Leviathans and board games and MHA and Runefire, Randall?
I mean, yes, but Battletech. I am an opportunity gamer. I love all games, but it's Battletech's always going to be Battletech for me. So.
Okay. Randall Lorcan asks, Randall, are you growing your hair long? Do we need to have a ponytail off when you make it back to UK Games Expo?
Actually, it is weird. My mother-in-law just said the same thing. I actually haven't grown my hair out from a, number 3 for probably 20 years, and I just suddenly, I'm gonna grow it out for a little bit and see what happens. So, no idea if I'm gonna have a fabulous mullet or not. We'll have to see. Mullets are mostly back, so my wife will totally be fine with that.
Hard disagree, but you do you. As long as the beard stays pink, I'm fine with it.
Sure.
Bovie asks, will there be anything new for purchase at Adepticon?
We are, I believe, and you don't, please don't hold me to this, but I believe that those glacier and volcanic neoprenes will make Adepticon, but it's going to be a close thing. So if they're not there, shipping is being shipping, but that's what we've been trying to get there as our brand new things to purchase.
Okay. Question about Leviathans. Are the fleet boxes for Leviathans, the Great War, Japan, US, and still planned for 2026?
One of them might be out at the end of the year, but just with everything that's been going on, production delays and shipping, not just on Leviathans, it's just, the entire industry has had huge delays. Those may slip into the next year, but they've been going forward. I've been, watching emails between Bryn and the manufacturer, keeping that moving. So they are moving, but we'll need to get a little bit later in the year to decide when those will actually come out.
Cool. Billy asks, are you still writing Novacat novels?
So almost every bit of my time outside of those projects that I can't talk about has been on Runefire and then the marketing stuff with MHA. So I have not done any writing. With most of that moving off of my plate, my current goal is by the end of this month to be back to writing that novel, because I would desperately, wonderfully love to get back to that.
Cool. Not so silent Bob asks, any way to order a BFM for pickup at Adepticon?
I don't think so. I think, Brent, are we having BFMs there?
If we get the new ones.
Yeah, if so, the BFMs are just gloriously awesome things, but they're just hideously expensive to ship around. And so because the two older ones are a year or two old now, we're not bringing any to Adepticon. If we get one in, it would be the new one, the Glacier and Volcanic, that'll be there.
Cool. Grumple Zone asks, what force packs have been discontinued?
I totally admit that I don't know that off the top of my head. We'll have to dig that up and we can have that for a future Tuesday Newsday. But it's just, the fact that we managed to keep 30 plus force packs in print all of these years is pretty amazing. And we finally, there's, I think, 2, maybe 3 that we let go. Because the numbers finally fell below what they needed to sustain that, but we'll find places to put those minis so they won't be gone forever. We'll cycle them into new ways so the players can have access to them.
Cool. Billy asks, question for Randall: have you gotten to play through Ace's Scouring Sands?
I have not. I've played portions. Sorry, my wife is giving me kisses through the window.
Cute.
I've played portions of it. I have not played through the whole thing.
Okay. Matt Draws asks, why is Randall's pink mohawk upside down?
Why is my pink mohawk? Oh, beard. Got it. That's funny. I've never done a mohawk. It's interesting.
What did you do?
Actually, I did do a weird, somewhere there is, I was shaving my head at Gen Con one year, and like every day was a little tighter and a little tighter up. And then like on a Saturday or Sunday, I had almost like a star-bellied Sneetch little flowery thing of hair. Somewhere on the internet is photos of that. That was a really weird, but a much younger me could get away with that type of look.
You guys have your mission. Fine, done.
That's right.
Bovi asks, with CGL buying Ironwind medals, will we see any new Ironwind medals released in 2026?
I don't pay that close attention to it, just because it's not under my purview. But as far as I'm aware, they release new things all the time. So I can't say specifically, will there be new things, just because, again, I don't know that schedule. But as far as I'm aware, they do continually release new things.
Billy asks, will other product be retired or repacked or anything like that?
most likely the Overlord dropship will get a retirement and turned into a remastered version. And so, but beyond that, it's very tentative. We don't have a definitive, these are the ones that must go away. It's kind of a, let's just keep an eye on this and see. And then depending on the ones that are retired, if it is if they're still important, beloved models, then even if it's retired, it's primarily because, we sold, dropship loads of them because the community loved them to death, and they still might be worthwhile to remaster and repackage. But so we don't have any specifics, but we will, keep an eye on that as we go forward.
Okay. Any last minute questions? We still have 9 minutes, y'all. I have the Randall Bills on Tuesday Newsday Live. This is not
the one thing I can say is that the next just speaking of general Battletech stuff, one of the things at Gen Con that has been announced for a while now, but I can say has hit a great milestone, is the next Aces box Snowblind. The files were turned over to the printer at the beginning of this week.
Woo!
That's off and running. It will certainly be at Gen Con. Maybe it might release in July, but we'll have to see how it plays out. But it certainly will be available at Gen Con. And the models are unbelievably cool. In particular, I'm trying to see if I can get a way to do this. The Viking 2C is just so unbelievably cool looking.
Ooh. That's neat.
Yeah. So that one, and the Rhyme Otter, and then the Novacat B, which has been a beloved design. It's a brute of a missile one. It's like the missile launchers are like this kind of diamond shaped. It's just so incredibly cool. I think that variant will be the chase variant of this new box. So it's the first Aces has done phenomenally well. Total critical and commercial success in just a month or two. And it's great to keep that going, have the next one already off to the printer and available when people have run through Scouring Sands and are ready to dive into Snowblind.
Cool. Andrew Dickinson asks, question, MHA at San Diego Comic-Con. I'm free to booth sit.
So the Comic-Cons are really strange beasts for us. We have been we don't exactly know when the crowdfunding is going to happen, when it might, and so that makes things complicated. Also, those shows just require a whole other level of connections and organization to be involved in. And they're also usually sold out sometimes years in advance for the exhibitors that are going to be there. And so I've been to that show several times. We've walked the floor, connected with people. I don't think the odds of us being there are going to be very high unless the crowdfunder goes and it's absolutely, massive. And then there's an excellent chance that we can, work with Crunchyroll and say, hey, can we just steal a little corner of your booth? I won't even have to sit down. I'll just stand. But yeah, I would say right now, don't expect us to be there. But if we are, if I was going to be there and run stuff, we would be, shouting it at the rooftops very happily. So
cool. I'm gonna try to make San Diego Comic-Con this year, but it's dependent on clients, because that way I can take meetings for them and stuff like that. So I won't have a booth. I'll just be walking around, but I may be there.
Yep.
We'll see. Clan Invasion. Oops, I moved. Guess I'll come back to that. Billy asks, last time I asked you to recommend 5 novels. Can you recommend one new novel releasing this year you're excited about?
Oh. Do they have to be Battletech?
No, it doesn't say Battletech.
Does he mean Battletech? Does he
I'm
mean
guessing he means Battletech.
like any novel? Like, I obviously I read a ton of Battletech, but I also just read a ton of books, right? Like I just finished the if anyone loves fantasy novels and has never read Tad Williams' Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn series, he did a trilogy back in the late 80s and 90s, and then he just finished a new 4-book series that literally like last year. And so I just much like, 2.5 million words. So I just finished reading through that. Amazing stuff. And then Alistair Reynolds, I think, is some of the best hard sci-fi writing out there. And then if anyone's never read Hyperion, even though that's not new, the author just passed away. One of the all-time great science fiction novel series, the Hyperion Chronicles. You should totally read it.
Cool. I am trying to start reading more with my more work-life balance that I'm hoping for here. And I
Nice.
just started Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Nice. It's not quite my thing, but a ton of people love it, and that's awesome.
It's funny. There have been moments that are a little too on the nose.
Yeah.
But I think it's fun, it's silly, it's snarky.
No, he's killing it out there. Like he's
Yeah.
doing it. He's got a great community that loves it. That's awesome.
And Renegade is doing a crowdfunding campaign on BackerKit for, is it an RPG? I forget.
I think it's an RPG. Yeah, I saw that, and like the specifics now are out of my head. But yeah, no, Renegades are great people. We love them. They're always like right behind us at Gen Con.
Cool. Just checking the time real quick. Okay. Psychath asked, is sales numbers the largest reason for Force Pack retirement or improvement on aged minis?
No, it's usually almost always a sales decision. So the Force Packs that were retired were done just because the sales dropped low enough. So yeah.
Awesome. Not my Google ID. Is there anything you guys would like to backfill? Amaris Civil War plus Aerotech would be awesome in my opinion.
Well, we've made, it's the biggest not secret in the community right now that we are heavily playtesting a new aerospace rules set for Battletech. And so that will, at some point in the future, that will be coming. We're incredibly excited about that. Backfilling other parts of the universe. I mean, we have been able to backfill so many parts of the universe. I don't think we've really done very much with like the golden century within the clan homeworlds. I think there's some really cool stories there with the clans still trying to figure out who they are and where they're going. I think that'd be fun to dive into. But if I mention that to John, I think there would be so many people that would come through the monitor at me about, shut up and go write your Novacat novel. So I gotta
Kalos asks, when will Leviathans be available for Gen Pop?
We are tentatively looking at either end of April or May for release into domestic retail, and then international would follow on that. But again, we just really want to be good about trying to fulfill to backers before that happens. And international backers should, fingers crossed, start fulfilling at the start or mid-April, somewhere in there. So we're working hard to get that done. And again, thank you so much to everyone that has waited so patiently for this. It's been amazing for awesome. Waited a long time to see this come back and to see it here, and so it's awesome to be there. And thanks for everyone's interest and patience as we get there.
Cool. All right, I'll do one more question since we're just about at time. Chris Merwin asks, Aces and recent Ilclan source books have included more and more heavy infantry. Any possibility of official CGL infantry to build our forces according to printed sources?
Is he referring to plastics, maybe?
I think so.
I'm not exactly sure what the question is. If it's referring to plastics, unfortunately, the technology that is used to make our plastics just doesn't go down to that scale and look good. The Inner Sphere battle armor standard that we released as part of the Mercenaries campaign really kind of showed the limits that we could go to. They were good. I would not call them great. They were good, but if you get much smaller than that, it really starts falling off. We have started to investigate some other ways that we might do that. Just, maybe more just similar to what we've done with Monster Fight Club with the releasing of our premium line. Like, there's a couple other things that we're looking at. But unfortunately, it's not feasible to do it the way it is right now. And so that's why we put in a great, whole bunch of infantry tokens into the Mercenaries box set when we released it, because that's really the best way to do it currently.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. Randall, thank you for joining me. I'm gonna flip the script for next week, since it's my last official week with Catalyst. I'm bringing on Michael Sierravella, and he's gonna interview me. So I'll be sitting on the guest side of the screen.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So look forward to chatting with you guys. And Randall, thank you as always for coming on and everything you do.
Yeah, happy to come on. I love doing these things.
Awesome. All right, I'll catch you guys next week. Happy Tuesday.
Well.